Good morning, church, from a foggy oceanside harbor with the tide coming in, lapping gently behind me. Our great verse of the day is Philippians chapter 2, verses 17 through 18. It says, "But even if I am being poured out like a drink offering on the sacrifice and service coming from your faith, I will be glad and rejoice. So you too should be glad and rejoice with me." Church, I think Paul's got a word for you and I today about a grounded identity, about a metric for success, and about a deep invitation to joy that each of us experience every day if we follow Jesus. One of the great questions of life is, what will you do with your pain? The pain of your past, the pain of present circumstances, the pain that we feel through fear or anxiety when we look at the world and all the chaos and pain that we see out there. What are we to do with this? Who are we, such small, finite creatures, in the face of such big questions? Well, Paul gives us an incredible example. See, for him, he's experiencing pain and persecution, but he has so grounded his identity in Jesus Christ. For him, he says earlier, "For me to live is Christ and to die is gain." He has so identified his identity, his value, his worth with Jesus that he considers participation in Christ's sufferings as a joy. Now that runs counter to everything that you and I instinctively experience, that pull towards self-preservation, towards the instinct to protect just me and what's mine, and to try and strive for a life free from pain and suffering, marked by pleasure and self-centeredness. Now, as we follow Christ, as we submit to his lordship, as we invite the Spirit to invade each nook and cranny of our lives, we experience a slow transformation where for us, our identity becomes grounded not just in, "Hi, I'm Joseph and I have these particular gifts," or "this particular pain," or "I come from this particular place," but increasingly identify with, "No, I'm a follower of the way of Jesus." And as I do that, my metric for success changes. Paul's did. And you see here, for him, success is tethered to, hey, have I fulfilled my mission as a called apostle to the fullest extent of my capacities? He measures it by the fruit of the faith of those people that he has been called to love, serve, lead, and bless. How might our families, our communities, our life look differently if you and I measured success by the flourishing faith of the people that God has put in our lives? And finally, the piece de resistance, the cherry on top, is that we as Christians are to be people marked by joy. That can be one of the ways that we shine like bright lights in the midst of a, quote, warped and crooked generation, which is every generation. Ours is not unique in that respect, though our challenges and our perversions may be unique in some ways. But regardless, the call for you and I is to be people who identify with Christ, who participate in his sufferings in the unique, practical, tangible, small ways of day-to-day life. It isn't just big and grandiose, it happens on a small and typically interpersonal scale. So will we submit our pain and our suffering to Christ? Will we find joy in identifying with him? Will we measure success by the flourishing of those that God has called us to pour our lives out to serve and to bless? May you be blessed and empowered today, church, to emulate Paul as he emulates Christ, who didn't consider equality with God something to be grasped, but emptied himself for you and for me. God bless you, church.